Hey, so this is reason 27. We're finally over halfway of 50 reasons Jesus came to die. 50 reasons why Jesus came to die. And today we're looking at to be a sympathetic priest. So when you think of the word sympathy, I always think about those cards that you give to someone who's having a rough time and it just says deepest sympathy. And it kind of has that connotation with it where you don't really know what to say, you feel a bit bad, you give them a card and it says sympathy on it. And I just want to say that the sympathy that Jesus has for us is much deeper than that. So you might have been with us in a Sunday session a couple of weeks ago where we were looking at deism. And deism is a belief where people believe that God created the world, but then he just left it. Or he sort of got a bit bored and looked the other way, or he just is too distant, he can't really see what's happening, so he's not involved in the world, but he did create it. And I just want to tell you today that that Jesus, the God of the Bible, is not like that. He's not uncaring, he's not distant, and he very much is sympathetic to what is happening. So yesterday Rory showed us in reason 26 that Jesus' death is an eradication of the old priesthood, and actually he is the new eternal priest. So Jesus is the go-between between us and God, and therefore to get to the Father we have to go through him. But it's better than that. If we look at Hebrews 4 verse 15 to 16, it says, "For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weakness, but one who in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin. Let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace, for we may receive mercy and find grace to help in a time of need." Before Jesus was hung on the cross, he was tempted for 30 years, and we see in that passage that it says, in every respect has been tempted. So Jesus experienced every kind of temptation that we experience. He suffered real torment in his life. So you can see in the Bible that he had friends die. He experienced his parents not understanding him. People judged him. People betrayed him. He suffered exhaustion. He suffered extreme stress. He was laughed at. He was argued with. He even spent 40 days in isolation. So he understands that. And he was tempted in every way, but he never gave in. And that only means that his temptation was stronger than what we would deal with, because a temptation doesn't go away unless you fall for it. So if you want to eat that cake, the cake is there, you want it, yeah? Until the cake disappears, that temptation is still there. And Jesus never gave in, so he always was tempted. That was a stupid example, but you understand what I'm saying. The temptation is stronger. John Piper says that no one has ever suffered more, no one has ever endured more abuse, and no one has ever deserved it less. Jesus' temptation was massive. And his whole lifetime climaxed in this shocking display of abuse and neglect on the cross. So when we see that in Hebrews 4 verse 15, to sympathize with our weakness, we can really see from Jesus' life that he understands and he cares and he's sympathetic. So let's be encouraged by that verse that says, "Let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace." We can be confident because we know that Jesus understands, because Jesus is the sympathetic priest.